Okay, we are at the Milwaukee Public Museum looking at the Bison Hunt on Horseback exhibit.
This is Matthew Drollinger. His is one of dozens of videos posted online of people excited to share a secret about the exhibit.
And if we go over here, we will see...
Matthew is pointing out a rattlesnake among a large diorama.
And we can make that rattlesnake rattle by pressing a button.
It's the snake!
That's a secret. It's a very well-known secret.
This is Dr. Ellen Censky, Senior Vice President and Academic Dean at the Milwaukee Public Museum.
But that gets passed on from family to family, and you can see them saying, now here's where the button is, and when you push that button, you can make the rattlesnake. And so the kids, they pass it on. They now are part of the secret club.
Today on the program, we are going to explore the Bison Hunt on Horseback at the Milwaukee Public Museum. Built in 1966, the diorama is a beautiful throwback to an older style of exhibit, without projectors or screens. What can it tell us about modern exhibit design? Plus, there's a snake button.
If that rattlesnake button is not working, we hear about it.
Welcome to Museum of Museums. I'm Ian Elsner. Museum of Museums is a tiny show about organizing science, art, and culture. Each episode lasts less than 15 minutes, so let's get started.
So the Bison Hunt is, when you approach it, it's an open diorama, which is one of the kind of signature things here, is that everything is open so that you don't have the glass in front of you. And it is bisons that are charging towards you with a couple of Native Americans on horseback who have their spears pulled. And this hunt has them charging at you. And so it's this very dramatic scene. And of course, then the background is one of our wonderful exhibit artists from the past created the whole plains scene behind you so that you just feel like you've, again, stepped into the plains and back in time.
I remember seeing this exhibit as a kid, the bison charging toward me. But the image that sticks in my head is of the mini diorama.
It's very interesting because in front of the bison there is a mini diorama, and those bisons are coming over a canyon and falling. So they were being chased into a canyon. The kids just run. They see the bison hunt, run towards it, and then they see this miniature diorama.
It was horrible and comical at the same time. Bison at various stages of falling off a cliff. It really got the point across.
I was just up there, though, the other day, and these kids were saying to their moms, now, is that real? Are they real? And so they I think they get very engaged.
Dr. Censky says that this change of scale and perspective, from the bison charging at you to the helicopter view of the bison falling off a cliff, is something visitors easily understand. In fact, the museum used a similar principle for one of its new exhibits, Crossroads of Civilization.
It's an interactive fly-through of a temple. So we have the first room of the temple on display. It's, again, a miniature diorama. So we did a fly-through that people can navigate through on a touch screen, and you can get through the entire temple and understand that this room you're seeing in actual, miniature diorama is related to this. And I know that people use that a lot and seem to be very interested in getting through, and that they're relating it back to this diorama that's on display.
The original designers of the Bison Hunt on Horseback trusted that visitors would understand this scale change. The designers of Crossroads of Civilization trust that visitors understand that the temple on the screen is the same as the model in the mini diorama. And then there's the snake button. The Milwaukee Public Museum says that the button was put into the exhibit a few years after 1966 at the request of an educator. The educator would then use it as part of a field trip when a class of kids were looking for the snake. Soon enough, the kids caught on to the button and started doing it themselves when they came with family and friends.
I say it's the first interactive exhibit out there.
I asked Dr. Censky about the attention to detail in the Bison Hunt on Horseback and other dioramas. How does the museum and the educational experience benefit from so much attention to detail?
Going into strategic planning, my big thing is we don't really know. We've got an audience that loves us. And, the number of people that come here every year is, for this size community, is phenomenal. And yet we don't really have a real good idea of what it is that they love about the place. Because it's an experience that you get when you're here.
Right.
It's this immersive experience. And so we really need to understand that as we move forward to make sure that as we enhance things that we don't take away what people love.
Thank you for visiting Museum of Museums. Special thanks to Dr. Ellen Censky and the Milwaukee Public Museum. Special thanks also to Sarah Smith and Stephanie Stewart. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Music composed by Wizard0 at wizard0.bandcamp.com. Museum of Museums can be found at museumofmuseums.co. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes. It really helps us out.